Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a little walkthrough of my homeschool planner for the 2025 to 2026 school year. Don't mind the mess in here. I mean, I just had a box opened for a collab video I'm going to be doing. I'm washing my dog's sheets and it's chaos in this library right now. But yeah, I'm going to be showing you guys the planner that I'm using for this school year. If you've been around for a while, you know that I've used multiple different planners in my 6-year journey of homeschooling. I've used Mardell, I've used Plum Paper, I've used School Nest. I used a cheap like off-brand planner from Amazon my very first year. And yeah, I mean, I've gone through so many planners. I've used so many different companies and they have all really worked. I can't really say that any of the planners I have used in the past have not worked. They have worked, but every single time that I switched to a different company, I've just been in search of something just more simple. I am a person where if there's too much going on in the page, I just feel overwhelmed and I feel like I have to just fill everything in. And over the years, I've realized that I'm the type of homeschool mom that does not need to have like every single detail on the page. And I'm going to explain what I mean. I'm actually going to grab my previous planners just to give you a little bit of insight as to what I mean. Okay, so I have 4 planners here. I know for a fact that I'm missing planners. Where are they? I'm honestly not sure. And part of the reason why I don't know where I put those planners is because I did the first couple years of our homeschool. I created a homeschool portfolio for each of my kids, and I would rip off the attendance sheet and put it into, I would copy off for each kid, put it into their portfolio. And I really can't remember if I got rid of the planners or I just put them somewhere. I don't know. But I do have, and I have videos on YouTube. I'll link the playlist down below for my homeschool planner playlist. But I started off with, like I said, the cheap planner. Then I went to Mardell. After Mardell, I did use Plum Paper Planner, and I loved Plum Paper because it was super customizable. I love the size. I really love for like academics. I love a big planner. But because I started being more simple in my planning, I have downgraded significantly to size. I mean, if you compare the size of this planner with this planner, you will see that it is completely different. But yeah, so I have this planner, which it was a super simple planner. We have like the monthly layouts, and then this is what our weekly layout looked like. I had the topics on this side, dates on the top, and then I would put literally everything. I would put, like, for handwriting, I would put the page numbers. For the good and the beautiful language arts, I would put every lesson. And I did that for so many years. Like I said, I've became a lot more simple with my planning. So you're gonna see in the planner that I'm using now that it is very different. This is a School Nest planner. And I binded these myself because they did not come binded. And then this is like the monthly views, and then we have weekly. We have the weekly views, which is pretty much the same thing. I kind of kept it going because this is super customizable, which I also loved. And I kept the same layout. I had the subjects and then the dates on top. And then I would do the same thing, just writing out each lesson that we did. And then I went to School Nest again. Also got this one binded. on my own time. Same exact layout. I actually started like journaling a little bit with this one. I started using the monthly pages a little bit as a yearbook of sorts, but I realized that I didn't want to journal in my my teacher planner, because I love to journal as it is, but I didn't want to have everything in a book that I was not using for everything. And then, so I would use this weekly overview just to journal about each day, what happened each day. And then we had tasks I had to do for that week. And then I would write out the day that we were on for that school year. And then the weekly layouts would be the same. Subjects, dates, and then everything by lesson. In the middle of me using this one, I actually stopped for a while, and then I had a plum paper planner that I was using for my own personal planning. And I had got it unpunched, punched it myself, and then I bought these rings separately. And I really enjoyed homeschooling in this, or homeschool planning in this planner, because I got to a point where I realized homeschool is part of like my daily life. It's part of our lifestyle, and just having everything separate kind of was just becoming a lot. So I switched it up and I put everything into one planner. I'm trying to find you guys the pages where I switched into this planner, because for a while I had not used this one for any homeschool planning. I'm sorry, guys. Again, if you notice, like a lot of my videos in the last couple of weeks, I have just been pretty much winging it. But you know what? I feel like that's just, it's me. It's me 100%. So you guys get to see a glimpse of the unedited version of Cynthia. Okay, so I had a little section here, if it will focus, where I would put homeschool activities or homeschool planning, and I started keeping it super simple. I would not put the lesson that we did. So if it was lesson 82, I did not put TG, TB, lesson 82. I would just put ELA, English Language Arts, math, calendar work, and letter B activity if it was for my preschooler at the time. Eventually, I felt like this was not enough space, so I did go back into the School Nest planner, and I just reused the remaining pages on this one. So these are 4 different planners that I used. Then I switched over to my planner that I'm using for myself, which I'm gonna go grab that right now. So for 2025, I had chosen a Sterling Ink N1 standard traveler's notebook planner. And this is literally just like the simplest planner that you will ever have. But the pages are Tomoa River paper. I love the texture of the paper. And so I bought this one for my personal planning, homemaking, content planning, all of that. But when I switched out of the School Nest one into the plum paper, then went back to School Nest, I said I was going to try this out for the new school year, or at least for 2025, to see how I liked it, so that for this school year, this fall, I would have to decide whether I was going to continue to plan again in one book, or if I was going to have a separate planner. And so I tried it out. I'm going to link also the video where I gave you guys a flip through of this planner so you can see what it looks like. But I started planning in the back pages, and it was, again, super simple planning. Is it focused? Yes. So I would just write out the lesson that, or not the lesson, the subject that we did that day. On this side, I would just have spelling words, what morning collective or morning basket we did, and then the books that we read that week. And I really, really enjoyed this layout. But I fell in love with sterling ink so much that when the new school year came in, so as of July, I went ahead and bought a whole new sterling ink planner. This is, again, the N1 size. And this is what I am now using for our homeschool records, planning, notes, all that. It's all in one book. So I'm actually going to flip you guys around and give you a little flip through of what this planner looks like. If you saw my 2025 planner video, like my planner stack and journal stack videos, you probably already saw this. This one is a little bit different because it is academic. So really, I want to say the difference would be the date that it starts on. This starts in January. This starts in July. So let's go ahead and flip the camera and then I will show you guys how I'm using it as of right now. All right, you guys, I'm going to try to go as fast as possible. Don't mind my messy desk. We journal here. We do pretty much everything here. But okay, so this is, again, the sterling ink standard, the N1 standard, which I will link down in the description in case you guys are interested. But we have 2025, 2026 yearly overview. This is a goals page, which I did not fill out for this planner. I did fill out for this planner, which I will show you guys really quickly if I can find it. Yeah, I filled out some of it, but that's what it's supposed to look like. I know it's very hard to see, but yeah, I didn't fill this out. Don't know. Oh, sorry. Actually, this was the blank ones. This is the goal breakdown. I'm sorry. So yeah, I didn't fill that out, but you can just write down goals and whatnot. This is another yearly tracker, something I did not fill out because I don't know what I would use it for as of right now. Then we have our quarterly pages, which start in July, and we have 4 quarters, so you'll have 4 sections. And then we have what I would call like a habit tracker, but also a calendar overview. And I just put, so for each month I will have attendance, outdoor time, independent reading, and field trips, and then I would mark them off. Up here, I put what my goals are for the first quarter, and then I will do the same thing for each quarter. And then at the end of the month, then I just write a little journal entry about how I think that the month went. I put how many days of school, how many field trips. And then, like I said, we get 4 of these pages. Okay, then we have the monthly section. So we have the monthly section, weekly, and then we have a notes section, a commonplace section. And so this is the monthly section. Each month is pretty much the same. I just like to go in and start writing anything coming up. And so it starts in June and in January, or not January, I believe it's June of the next year. July of the following year. And then we have weekly pages. And the way, so this first week was just kind of like a trial of how I was going to be using this. I really didn't know how I wanted to use it, even though before I bought it, I actually started drawing out layout. Let me see. I'm trying to find the pages that I did. So I drew some layouts of how I wanted the journal to look, or the planner to look. But again, this was a trial week. This side, subjects that we did, if we had school or not school, and then assigned reading and the read alouds. Same thing. I started splitting it up here from what we did in the morning to what we did in the afternoons, and then literature, spelling, except for this week. I don't think we did spelling. This is actually, well, this was July. I was going to say, is this week? But here is another week. And then we get to this current month. You see we missed actually most of that week. And then this is this week. I have not gotten to decorating, but I'm not big on decorating many planners. I just do washi tape. But here we go. Again, we're doing just morning time work and afternoon work. Over here, we're doing our memory verse for the week or for the month. Literature, so what the kids, the girls at least, are gonna be reading, and then what we're reading as a family. I don't put picture books here just because we're constantly reading picture books, so I don't really mark picture books as the literature, assigned literature for the week or anything like that. And so yeah, so we have a bunch of those pages, weekly pages, and then we get to this is what I call the notes pages or the commonplace pages. And I just started with writing down the curriculum that we would be using. This is where I got basically everything just settled in my head of what we were going to be using for the year. And then if I have if there's something that we haven't started, I can always just reference this for whatever reason. Here I'm going to be putting, which obviously I have not finished filling out, but I'm going to write every read aloud, like chapter book wise, that we read in that month. Daily rhythm, curriculum, loop schedule, because we have some subjects that we don't do every day. And then this was just fall sports information. And this is just going to be used, like I said, as a commonplace notebook, but commonplace, like homeschool commonplace notebook, not just anything. I was printing out the kids' language arts curriculum, so I needed to just figure out what units were on what pages so I can print out what I needed first versus printing every single thing out. And then in my 2 videos ago, I actually talked about doing unit studies for geography, and so I have started to just plan that, what books we're going to be getting, and then just whatever else I want to write down regarding that unit study, then I will put that down. But yeah, everything else is just notes pages. So I think it's pretty, honestly, pretty simple. Nothing complicated. I love that it's just blank. It's a blank canvas. I don't have to write down every subject on the side. I don't have to write down dates. I love that it's just a blank template and I just write out the subjects that we did. And part of the reason why I stopped writing lesson by lesson, like the lesson numbers, is because we always just do the next lesson. We don't skip around. We just go right through the book. So to me, I found it kind of pointless to write every single lesson number in my planner. I just felt like I was wasting space and no need to do that. So yeah. But yeah, this is the planner. I'm going to go ahead and flip you guys back around. All right, you guys. I do have my planner in this Moterm cover. It's a traveler's notebook cover. It has the 3 strings. I don't use the 3 strings. I just slide the back page into one of the pockets and there we go. I used to use this cover for my own planner, but I like to have everything homeschool related in one place. And I always felt like every time we go to the library, our library cards are in my wallet. Then I would put them into a diaper bag. And I'm just like, I need everything in one place. So I keep our library cards here, planner here, and then anything else that I need to have. This cover is amazing. It has so much storage. I have pockets here. It has a pocket here. It has a pocket in the back. It also has a pocket here, here, and then it also has pocket here and a zipper pocket. So this has so much space. I love my Moterm cover. It is pricey, but I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I think I'm actually going to buy myself another one just to have for my personal planner. But in the meantime, Sterling Ink does sell these plastic covers on her website. You have to buy them separately, but she does sell them for whatever size you want. She also has academic planners in different sizes. It is not just in this size. I believe she has like an A5, if I'm not mistaken. I think they also come in like B5, which is like a journal size planner, like it's a lot bigger. She has a lot of beautiful products. This is not sponsored, not affiliated in any way, but I really do genuinely love the products. I think moving forward, I might just continue to use Sterling ink for homeschool planning, just because it's just, like I said, it's an open canvas. It's pretty, it's simple. I feel like this is more me than the other books, and it's super, super portable. Like I can just throw this in my own purse, take it if we're gonna go on a field trip or whatnot. So yeah, Sterling ink. If you have not checked them out, go check them out, please. But yes, let me know what planner you are using for this school year. Let me know if you're even interested in a homeschool planner. Do you plan? How do you plan? If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you find yourself coming back. And I hope to see you next week.